Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're back here at Reeves Subaru, actually on the top of the parking garage at Reeves in Tampa because we needed some extra room because we have one bad mamma jamma. This is a 2019 Camaro ZL1 1LE. But before we dive into this fire-breathing, supercharged track beast, let's talk about what's going on here. Chevrolet Camaro has been around since 1967. It's been one heck of a whirlwind of performance and so many iconic models. That ZL1 badge existed so long ago, but you know what? It came back and came back in a big way in the 21st century because we're talking about supercharged V8 power. Now, the ZL1 1LE first appeared in 2018, and basically the 1LE package is a track-specific package. That whole option originated back in the 1980s in a specific response to the SCCA showroom stock racing. They figured if people could buy a Camaro, add that 1LE option, that's gonna help the car be a better track weapon, and guess what? So true with this vehicle. It's not about extra horsepower, but you're getting special suspension, bodywork, wheels, brakes, and everything else that if you know the skills to get around a racetrack, this is gonna help you turn fast times, really quick times, to even challenge cars like a Ferrari 488, if you could believe that. What I wanna do with this review is I wanna answer a couple questions. A, is this your best value for your muscle car dollar when it comes to the amount of performance that you're getting? And B, is this muscle car a supercar killer? So let's go ahead, dive into this 2019 Camaro ZL1 1LE and see if we could get these questions answered together. Right off the bat, love the black on black, so sinister, fits the car to a T. Now, when we start at the front end of the business, like I pointed out, when you go 1LE, you're actually gonna get a totally different front fascia than your standard ZL1, and definitely totally different than a standard Camaro. You're still gonna get the same headlight design, and I don't mind it. It looks great, makes it look very angry. I'd hate to see this in my rearview mirror catching up behind me on a racetrack, but you got your LED daytime running lamp, you got your xenon headlights set up, and then as we drop down, you got these massive functional air intakes. Now, there are tons of radiators, actually more radiators than an M1A1 Abrams tank, if you could believe that or not, and we are gonna get as much air as we possibly can. This is all factory. Somebody hasn't dremeled out the dividers. It's all open to flow as much air as possible. You have these dive planes and canards to help give us downforce because like I said, at the track, we want to try to get some extra downforce to help the car turn and be more stable at speed. And then this massive front splitter that extends out almost like a kitchen table. Now, as we come across the front, this is my favorite front end on a Camaro besides the Z28 that was produced in 2014 and 2015. And the funny thing is, I bring that up because of the flow tie. They actually discovered that by taking the Chevrolet bow tie, hollowing out that center portion, it allows even more air to hit that front radiator to bring extra cooling. They discovered that with the 2014, 2015 Z28 Camaro. We work our way down, full functional venting. You got ram air scoops for your brake cooling. Everything else is going to be channeled so perfectly. Look at the size of the splitter. So remember, the splitter is about scooping air like a big, huge shovel you get from Home Depot. We're scooping air into this front portion of the vehicle. We're trying to stop air from going underneath, and we're giving some downforce. You don't just want a big wing on the back, which this one has. You also want what's up front as well. Now, when we get up onto the hood, I love the satin black. This one has the carbon fiber option. So you're gonna get this massive carbon fiber heat extractor with the ZL1 badging on the side. Very tasteful, looks great. I think it breaks up the flat black perfectly. And as we come around the bend, no Magneride suspension. Now, you may think that that's a bad thing, but if you're doing your track days, this has a special Multimatic suspension system that we're going to talk about in a few seconds once we pop the hood. But let's check out what we're working with wheel and tires. So these are forged wheels. If you take all these wheels, the 4 wheels, they actually weigh 17 pounds less than your standard wheel, and that's rotating mass. So you're going to have less rotating mass, going to give you quicker steering, massive 6-piston Brembo calipers with the 1LE badging on there, 2-piece rotors, This thing is a track missile, gonna be faster than a Shelby GT350, Shelby GT350R, and I'm not ashamed to say it, but behind the bodywork, like I said, is a special tuned suspension just for this vehicle. You can't get it on anything else. And you can see from the side there that dive plane, just like right off a race car. We work our way down, super clean, no badging. I love the side sill extension specific to the ZL1 1LE. That's gonna help channel air down the side. And you know what, from the outside, I've always liked the look of the Camaro. It gives it really that concept car look that looks so sharp. Now, as we work towards the rear, you'll see that we have some steamrollers back here. So we're talking 325s. So 325 on the width. These are 19-inch wheels, not 20s. On the ZL1, they actually give you 20-inch wheels. For track tire fitment, it's actually better to go with the 19-inch wheel. Still nice size 4-piston caliper on the back. And then when we get to the tail end of the business, you have this full carbon fiber rear wing. At speed, this produces over 300 pounds of downforce. You can see it's a pedestal style. You cannot position it in any way, which is a zonk for me. I wish that it would have some adjustability. And then at the back, you have the goggles, the swimming goggles tail light design. That was something that was changed up for 2019. Not my favorite, but I'll live with it because this is a bad fire-breathing animal. You got your quad tip exhaust, and obviously that's the active system that you can make it louder or quieter. And then, of course, for some reason, Chevrolet does pin the tail on the Camaro with their badging. I don't know why they put the ZL1 badge here. It should be up here on the actual trunk. And then the diffuser, I would like a little bit more of an aggressive diffuser, especially with the size of the wing up there. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering the ZL1 1LE. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have two hydraulic hood struts. Let me show you something before we even talk about the engine. Like I was saying, here is where your shock absorbers are mounted. There's no wires going to them. That's how you know automatically they're not the Magneride Suspension. You can see the bracing. What's interesting is that there's actually no bracing that goes across the top of the supercharged engine because of lack of room, but they still were able to brace it just fine. What's in that center is really a work of art. That is that LT4 V8 plucked right from the Z06 Corvette. So you're looking at 650 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque from that 6.2 liter V8, all mated to a 6-speed, a Tremec 6-speed manual transmission. Remember, for 2020, you can get the 10-speed automatic, but we have the 6-speed. If you know how to dance on those twinkle toes, you're looking at 0 to 60, 3.7 seconds, quarter mile, 11.9, 0 to 100 in 8.4 seconds, a top speed of 190 miles an hour. And if you're concerned about MPGs, I guess you should go get a Prius. No, seriously, 14 miles to the gallon in the city, 20 on the highway. It does have an electronic limited slip differential, that Multimatic spoon valve dampers at all four corners. That is actually 23 pounds lighter than the standard Magneride suspension. The car overall is almost 100 pounds lighter, and on a skid pad can generate 1.10 G's of force, of lateral force with this setup. Like I was saying, definitely gonna be faster than a Hellcat, Challenger Hellcat Red Eye around a racetrack, road course that is, even faster than a GT350, 350R. GT500, it really depends, but why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this Camaro and hear its roar. All right, guys, we're inside this 2019 Camaro ZL1 1LE. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I want the baddest road course muscle car. I want a supercar killer. I want to go do track days and track down those Ferraris and Lamborghinis. How much is this car? Now, this Camaro has 6,500 miles, so it's barely broken in. You're looking at $64,999. Let's just call it $65,000. Let me show you some of the parts in here that make this a supercar killer. Right off the bat is going to be the short throw Tremec 6-speed manual transmission. It does have automatic rev match downshifting, which you can shut off. You got the Alcantara shift knob, the Alcantara shift boot, and like I was saying, the throws are ultra short. And then the other big piece of the puzzle are these beautiful Recaro seats. So you got the Recaro badge, the ZL1 badge, perforated with the leather trim on it, piping, even the nice size bolstering, both bottom and top, is gonna hold you in place. And what's great over a Shelby, these are actually ventilated and heated. So if you want a nice cooled backside while you're at the track, going after your friend with his Ferrari 488, you can be cooled off. And then obviously the cherry on top, everybody gets a red seat belt. Now, my only zonk is gonna be, of course, some of the space in here. We've beaten that horse to death, but I'm very, very confused why on a track-specific Camaro, there's even a back seat. I think if they would shed that, you'd even shed more weight, maybe another 100, 150 pounds, depending on how much insulation and garbage are underneath those seats. But why don't you come over to the business end, because there's some things over here that's gonna make you very lethal at the track. All right, guys, business time. What makes this really a standout muscle car performer, definitely having the 3 pedals. So nice to have your clutch, your brake, and your throttle. They have a little bit of brushed aluminum. The good news is if you like to do your own heel toe downshifting, perfectly placed to have that happen. I wish, just like on my Shelby GT350R, the dead pedal was just a little bit larger, and it would be nice to have a nice brushed aluminum dead pedal there. And remember, if you're saying, well, Joe, you're at a racetrack, what does that have to do with anything? You're gonna wanna brace yourself, especially in some of those tighter corners where you're not shifting, and you really gotta make sure you're one with this Camaro. The other piece of the puzzle is this beautiful Alcantara wrap steering wheel, flat bottom, really nicely done. And then the gauges make sense. You have that large digital display in the center. You have an analog tach, analog speedometer. You got the different modes, sport, track, snow even, which is crazy. And if you're wondering, well, what are the paddles for? That's to shut off or turn on your automatic rev match. I don't like that. I don't like the way it's too easy to hit when you're actually driving. I wish they would make a button somewhere else, but it is nice to have that feature. But I want to keep this short and sweet because I want to show you more the driving of this supercar killer. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this LT4 powered ZL1 1LE for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the Camaro ZL1 1LE. First takeaway right off the bat, it's definitely a totally different driving experience from interior space than my Shelby GT350R. The windshield definitely is closer to your face, and it's angled on a greater rake than in the Shelby. But you know what? I was able to position the seat. I love these Recaros, and I love the fact that they're ventilated, especially on a hot summer day here in Florida. Plus, you know, having all the other touches in here with the Alcantara and everything. This does have the PDR, that performance data recorder, which is a nice option to have, especially if you are taking this to the track, because you'll be able to sort through all that footage on your own to make you a better, faster driver. Having 650 horsepower definitely checks off a lot of boxes, and this thing, black on black, is just, it's sinister. Now the suspension is very, very firm, but you know what? It comes with the territory. I don't have a problem with it. I just know that definitely compared to a Magneride or magnetic ride suspension, it's gonna shake your kidneys a little bit more, but steering feels great. Love the supercharger whine. Can't beat that whatsoever. All right, guys, here we go. On throttle, yeah! Woo! On the brakes, look at this. Wow. Unbelievable. Wow, unbelievable. Getting the traction down, I'm telling you, that traction control is working overtime. I have it in sport mode. Wow. Very, very exhilarating feeling, exhilarating sensation. You feel feel like your hands are just holding that front axle. Like there's just one axle and you're the one that's actually turning with your physical hands. That's how connected you are to the front tires. Out back, I tell you, it was a struggle to get some traction to the ground. Now, obviously, those tires are not the Goodyear track specific tires that come with the car from the factory. So that's gonna play a bigger role. It's more of a summer tire. But boy, oh boy, that traction light, I have it in sport mode. That traction control light was flickering like it was 4th of July firecracker. But you just know, you could feel that this car is so ready to rock and roll. You just need the right space to do it. All right, guys, once again, let's have some fun. On throttle. God, love the sound of that LT4. Here we go. That back end, she wants to come out. Nice grip from the front. Wow. Just how smooth the car transitions from left to right. That's what I love, is the direct steering input. It's like you're ready to hit apex, apex is hit, and you're on the money. That's how good the steering is, the rack, the electric rack on this, and of course the suspension bits to really give you a feel for what the surface of the road is doing. But boy, oh boy, it's a chore to get the traction down out back with the tires that are on this particular ZL1 1LE. But all the sounds and the seats keep you planted for sure. On throttle. Wow, 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 wow. This thing, I'm telling you, woo, I didn't even go, I went through one gear. I couldn't even imagine on a long enough straightaway with nobody around, like a racetrack. Boy, oh boy, this thing would just build so much speed, and then you have the downforce keeping you planted, and you just feel in tune with it. That's the great part of it. All right, guys, we're on the highway here, second gear, on throttle. Wow, I'm telling you right now, boy, if you gotta pass a car, this ZL1 1LE, you're gonna pass them real easy in this beast. And you can see, I'm glad that we actually took it on the highway here, because over the expansion joints, it's nothing too crazy, to be honest with you, when it comes to bounce. So I am happy to report that it's not shaking the whole car as much as it was on the regular street roads that we started out on. Very, very smooth for the most part. But boy, oh boy, I'm telling you, it's so nice to go from second to third. This Tremec allows you to hit second to third, just like in my Shelby. And I think that's the big plus, is that having this type of gearbox really allows some nice, quick shifting and what you need when you're on the racetrack, for sure. On throttle! The sensation it gives you in your chest, this is what it's all about. Having that supercharged V8 up front, feeling it as you're rolling through the gears. What a great sensation. What an amazing piece of machinery. Absolutely amazing. All right, guys, here we go. Really nice. Woohoo! On throttle. Yeah! Oh my God. It is unbelievable how rock solid this vehicle is, and just, you're connected. It really would be a treat to take this to VIR, take this to Laguna Seca, even Sebring with the bumps. I think you're gonna be okay for the most part, but just a joy to really be able to share with you. And at the price point, you're getting a lot of car for the money. That's guaranteed for certain. That automatic rev match downshifting is amazing. Brake pedal has nice consistent feel. The bite onto the rotor is really, really wonderful, and the feedback that it gives you, it just communicates super, super well. But we're gonna get back to Reeves Subaru and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a windy day, but of course, one heck of a day here at Reeves Subaru with this ZL1 1LE. I definitely gotta thank LD and the rest of the crew getting us access to this sinister black track muscle car. Is it the ultimate performance muscle car for the road course? You know what? It's definitely at the top. What really is gonna depend are the skills of whatever car you're in, whether it be a Shelby GT 350, 350R, a GT 500, even a Challenger Hellcat or Hellcat Red Eye. But in the end, Chevrolet did really create a vehicle to help accentuate what can be done on a road course with supercharged V8 power. And then, of course, at the end of the day, is this a supercar killer? Yes. Get your hunting license, go after those Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Audis, and Porsches, because boy, oh boy, this thing has a power-packed punch. But if it's cars like these that you want to keep seeing on Raised Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Got to give it up to Crown Vic. He's wearing his crown very proudly with this Camaro ZL1 1LE, and he was okay coming up to about 1,500 feet on the top of this garage. So thank you, Victor, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.